Eastern Michigan University. My name is Jennifer Spiller, and I am fortunate enough to be the Executive Director of Big Brothers Big Sisters here in Washtenaw County. I want to thank you for coming. This is my alma mater. It looks much different than when I came here. This building did not exist, and so the students now get this wonderful student center and lots of other new things that I think come with the times. We're happy to have you here to help us celebrate the partnership that has been developed between Big Brothers Big Sisters across the state of Michigan, the Secretary of State, the T-Ball Foundation, and All Star Driving. We're really excited about the opportunities of that partnership and the opportunities for the teams in our community. I'm going to welcome to the podium Linda Lee Tarver. Linda Lee is the Director of Community Affairs with the Secretary of State's office. She has been a major advocate for this across the state and really has championed the partnership and ensuring that kids get this opportunity. So
thank you so much. Thank you for having me here on behalf of Secretary of State Ruth Johnson. We are just delighted to be able to partner with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Washtenaw County and to partner with the T-Ball Foundation and All Star Drivers Education. I'm supposed to tell you about the importance of graduated driver licensing, and we have been recognized nationally by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration for our graduated driver license program here in Michigan, and that is a wonderful honor. We've got great laws, but since 2004, driver licensing, driver training has been eliminated out of our public schools. Some schools decided to keep it, and others defunded, since it was defunded from our public schools. Those who could not afford it have not been taking advantage of it. And we know that it's the #1 cause of death for our young people. And because of that, Secretary of State Ruth Johnson and we promoted this effort and this initiative through the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. I went to a Big Brothers Big Sisters called a Big Breakfast in Lansing. It really touched my heart, and I was moved by the selflessness of the Bigs and the passion for the administrators of that program. And because of that, because of the screening and the partnering that was done, we thought that the Bigs could join to help give the hours behind the wheel that life-saving training as graduated driver licensing. We also know that in most of our inner cities, most of our minority students are not taking advantage of graduated driver licensing because of the cost. And so we reached out to All Star Driver Education, All Star, and we also reached out to the T-Ball Foundation, father and son team, to ask them to consider partnering with us to save lives, to help children. And that is simply what this program is about. And the Secretary is doing her part by using her statewide notoriety and her statewide pulpit to just ask communities to get behind our youth to help save lives for this graduated driver licensing program. I leave you with this. My daughter is 26 years old, and she recently posted on Facebook. Now, I'm not a Facebook person, but hey, she recently posted on Facebook that she nearly got into a fatal crash, but she was able to maneuver out of it, stay calm, and it really saved her life. She has been driving for 12 years, since she was 14. She's been riding with me for several of those years, and I was able to coach her. And she thanked me on Facebook. She tagged me and thanked me. Now that was the greatest honor that any young person could give you, is thank you for driver's education. Thank you for teaching me how to drive. I remember who taught me how to drive, and it changed my life, my dad. And so we're asking the individuals, the Bigs, or any licensed adult in this room to get behind the wheel with these young people and give them the coaching that they need. Give them the guidance and the wisdom that you've gotten. Allow them to go with you on Michigan icy roads. Too often, the young people wait until they're adults to get their license because they can't afford it any other ways. And they ended up, first Michigan winter, they end up really having some problems and causing them accidents. And so we're trying to prevent that by giving a life skill, a portability, a portable skill, a workable skill, a job creation skill. If you can drive, you certainly can get a job. that's what we want for our young people here. And we are pushing for our communities to support us in this effort. And on behalf of Secretary of State Ruth Johnson, we thank you. Thank you, Jennifer.
So I am not only the director of Big Brothers Big Sisters, I am also a parent of 2 kids. One who's been through All-Star Driving education and one who is about to go through All-Star Driving education next month, probably, maybe with the kids that are getting scholarships here today. And as a parent, you become a nervous wreck at this point, quite frankly. You wonder if your kids have the maturity to navigate the roads, the decisions that they have to make on the roads. You think about the things that sometimes that they don't do consistently at home, their chores, simple things like putting the cap on the toothpaste, the little things that maybe make you a little crazy. Are they going to be detail-oriented enough behind the wheel that I can trust them to kind of go out and do this? It's a stress and strain for parents. And so you think about how do they maneuver the roundabouts in Ann Arbor? There's so many roundabouts now. Do they know how to manage a 4-way stop? People get angry on the roads. I mean, they really do. And so it's so important that they have that professionally supported fundamental education of how to handle themselves behind the wheel of a car. And I feel really fortunate that my kids have had that education. But not all do, as Ms. Tarver, spoke to. Child safety is the #1 priority for Big Brothers Big Sisters in match relationships that we make, and for kids just in general in what they do in lives. And this education is going to give them a leg up in being more safe drivers. And we're so excited to be able to provide that partnership to put those safe drivers on the road. In addition to that, it's going to open opportunities. You can't get to a job. Some of the jobs you can't have without a driver's license, a valet, or even pizza delivery. A lot of things that kids do when they're in college or trying to move up. You need that driver's license. There are after-school activities that kids need to get to and from, and having that opportunity to move through this process, I think, will be key to that. I was also thinking about the opportunity of carpooling your younger siblings, but then I realized that might be a burden for some kids, but it certainly was for mine. He doesn't necessarily see that as an opportunity, but for me it's an opportunity. But those are things that are going to be opened up to many kids when they are able to go through these classes and practice their driving skills. But too many kids, and many of the kids that we work with, don't get that opportunity. And so we're really, really excited not only about the partnership with the Secretary of State and the scholarships that are being provided by the T-Wall Foundation and the education being provided by the All-Star Driving. It's just a really exciting opportunity, and we're so excited to be here and to be a part of it and to know that we get to play our part in providing something that's just going to be key in the growth and the opportunity for kids to reach their full potential, which is what we're all about at Big Brothers Big Sisters. At this time, I'd like to bring up to the podium John Dudley. John is the Vice Chair of our Board of Directors here in Washtenaw County.
Thanks, Jen. I'm looking over here at Tom Wall, who's dressed in a Superman costume. And I'm afraid that when this is finished, Tom's apparel is going to be a little more memorable than Jim was just talking about the importance of driver's education, as Linda was also. And I would add to what Jen said that as a parent also, I remember when our son turned 16 and began to drive, my wife plastered a big bumper sticker on the back of our car which said, "Clear the road, I'm 16." So this is a wonderful program and a wonderful pilot program, and we appreciate it very much. I just want to say a few words about the truly important and often life-changing role that adults who serve as big brothers and big sisters to children in this community play in their lives as they advance through school. Our bigs really make a profound difference as mentors, as role models, as inspirations, and as people who help to provide opportunities for kids who otherwise might not have them. And this program is a perfect example of that kind of opportunity, and it's why we're so excited about this. I just want to echo Jan in saying how excited we are about this. I certainly want to thank Tom Wall and the T. Wall Foundation for their generosity, and express thanks also to the All-Star Driver Education Program, and also Linda, certainly to you and to the Secretary of State for your interest in partnering with us in helping these kids become good drivers and great adults. Thanks. And let me ask Annika Donor to come up from Senator Warren's office.
Hi, thank you for welcoming me here on behalf of Senator Warren. Sorry she couldn't attend today, but I was very excited to attend on her behalf because I myself am a big. I've been matched with my little Kayla since October of 2013, and she's just 13, and she just turned 13 in May, so she's not quite at driving age yet, but I think this would be a great program for her and her family when she is able to start taking driver's training. Senator Warren and I were very excited to hear about this partnership. One of our interns, Angel, who is a student here at Eastern Michigan University, she takes the bus every day to come, or every Monday and Friday to come intern in our office. And though we have a great public transportation system in Washtenaw County, it doesn't extend quite as far as we always need it to go. So Angel has to take the bus and walk to our internship, and she's actually working with Michigan Works right now, I think, to do driver's training and learn how to be a safe, good driver. So it means a lot to us when organizations like the T. Wall Foundation and All-Star Drivers Education really look out for those people who need that extra help to get them the driver's training they need so that they can have great experiences like an internship with our office. So we're very excited about this partnership, and we wish our congratulations for the recipients.
Now, for the main event, I would like to welcome to the podium Brent Wall and Tom Wall, Captain Drivers Ed, to award some scholarships to our kids.
Great. Sometimes you don't want me to walk with you.
It's fine. We'll let you come up with me. But so we've done a few of these so far on the west side of the state. We're just so honored and so glad to be a part of this four-way partnership, if you will, I guess. You know, we've actually been giving out driver's ed scholarships for a number of years just through our driver's ed school and T-Wall, but when we met Linda earlier this year and heard about her initiative with the Secretary of State and all that they were doing with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and we just thought, wow, this is like a perfect partnership for us, because here we are doing it already, but you know, the time and effort that my dad was putting into talking to every counselor of every school, of the students that they thought were eligible, but maybe they weren't, and it was hours upon hours, and with your process of going through all of these littles and you know, screening them and making sure that they're a good fit for the program, it kind of eliminates that part and allows us to focus more on raising money for his foundation, being able to give out more scholarships versus him personally taking so much more time to validate them. Now we have you guys for that. Obviously, Linda with the Secretary of State's office, we have that component now to bring this really some, you know, life and show everybody in the state, not only the state actually. Linda and I have talked about this with the Secretary of State. She's very interested in taking this nationally. We are hopeful as well through funding with possible corporations and whatnot. But it's just a great initiative. As everyone said here today, driver's ed has changed. It's close to $350, $400 for segment one now. That's not a drop in the bucket for many families. It's very, very expensive. And, you know, everybody talks about suicide or drinking or drugs or what have you for teenagers, but I think a lot of people forget that this is the #1 cause of death amongst teenagers is driving and the lack of the experience that they have. So it's very, very important for us to be able to do our part in all of this. So with further ado, believe it or not, this is my actual biological father. Yeah, and we've had this little duo called Captain Driver's Ed and his normal son. How normal can you be, though, when you grow up with a father like this? So I will say, though, he didn't invent this costume until like 7 or 8 years ago, thank God. So it wasn't like it wasn't like I was being dropped off at elementary school.
It was almost 50 years ago that I showed up on campus and played football here, and it seems like yesterday. I mean, and then went on and got my undergrad work in education, and then got my master's degree here in special education, and then moved to Willow Run for 30 years. So I was in Willow Run schools, and that's when I learned about, and Brent did too, of that when you're teaching, you've got to keep it fun, you've got to keep it innovative, because all of us sitting here remember a teacher in your life that stood out. And there's a good chance that that teacher smiled, that teacher learned your name, that teacher learned something special about you, and all those important things. The thing about, we only have them for 24 hours. That's not a lot of time. So we have to keep it that way, because we know when it gets boring, people stop learning. It's the bottom line. And so, yeah, we're sometimes silly, like Jim, you had the book and you would read it and laugh with your son, but it was a way of keeping your attention. So we're proud of this. We're also proud, more proud of the scholarships today to a football player at Pioneer. I met you earlier. And that's after my heart, you know, and I'm going to come and see you play, Jason.
Kendra, too.
And Kendra, no, she's not going to play football. Oh, hi,
Cheerleader. Oh,
what school,
perfect.
Kendra? Very nice. Oh, well, I'll come over and make sure you remind me of that. Oh, I know you when I come and talk to your class. But I want to thank you very much, and we're so excited to do this. I mean, we really are. And we're excited that we have that kind of program that can reach all of our kids to make them safe drivers on the road. Hopefully better than you, with experience. We want the best. So I'll turn it back over.
I think are we presenting now?
Yes.
Okay. And who's coming up for that? Everybody? Are they coming together or no? Okay. All right. So we'll do the presentations of the certificates. If the littles would come up, please. Oh. Both of you guys. So as part of this initiative, this is a full scholarship for Segment 1 Driver's Ed with All-Star Driver's Ed. And it sounds like you'll be taking it at Lincoln, and then you'll maybe be taking it close to the Pioneer location. Okay, very good. And here's one for each of you guys. And I'm sure there's going to be a photo op here, right? Or it's already happening, so congratulations. And
So let's get the photo up
yeah,
here.
you wanna, okay.
Yeah.
Split the podium then.
Split the photo.
Oh, yeah, of course.
There we go. Then we need the big brother.
Yeah, and the big brother.
Yeah, he's going to see.
Absolutely. So we'll clear out.
Well, we want you to say a few words.
No, yeah.
We're going to flank you.
We're going to flank you.
Well, I just wanted to thank everybody for coming out this morning. Thank Big Brothers Big Sisters as always. It's been a great influence on my life, just as much as I hope I've had on Jason. We were just trying to figure out how long we've known each other. It's been about a decade or so I've known him and his brothers, and I mean, this is just another kind of great thing that the Big Brother Big Sister program has done. It's a lot of opportunities that they've given us for different sort of programs, and this is just another great example. We're talking way over here, trying to figure out some different things for after football, after school, and college and community college came up. Well, we kind of drive to get to all these places. So this is just a great example of great work that All Star Driving T-Wall Foundation has done, and I can't thank you enough. It's been a great experience, getting to know Jason's last 10 years, and it's just another great example of the work you guys done, and I really can't thank you enough for pulling us together. So, anyways, thank you and appreciate the time.
Just a few words of what this means to you.
This means a lot, actually. I didn't think I was going to be able to do Garden State. I thought I was going to have to wait till I was 18, so this is a great opportunity for me. And thank you again to Big Brother Big Sister program.
Well, this is a really great opportunity because, like, I thought, like you said, I thought I was gonna have to wait till I was 18 to like to drive, but this is like a great opportunity to like scholarships and stuff. My girlfriend actually got me off today.
We've been making every attempt to have the secretary attend these events, and she has been able to attend some and not others. But she definitely, her heart is here today, and she wanted to let you know how much this means to her to partner with you and to partner with Big Brothers Big Sisters because of the work that you do. You're doing phenomenal work. You are unsung heroes. You are hidden treasures, and we recognize that. Just the work that you're doing with young people, it is, I have 2 children, and I can't imagine having the responsibilities of the many children that you have, and how much of a blessing that you are to your community and to the lives of these children. So on behalf of Secretary of State Ruth Johnson, Jennifer, and Big Brothers Big Sisters, we gratefully acknowledge Big Brothers Big Sisters for its efforts in promoting safer teen driving by partnering in the graduated driver license program to help keep teen drivers safe with the goal of preventing traffic crashes. This is dated July 22nd. Ruth Johnson, Secretary of State. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Well, we'd like to thank you all for being here to support the efforts of all of the partners today. It has been, it's been really fun putting this together and getting this kicked off. I hope very much that this is only our first summer to be able to offer this opportunity, and I wish you guys all the best and success in taking this further. I think that it is, as everyone has stated today, so important. It saves kids' lives when they know what they're doing behind the wheel of a car. It's scary to think of the number of kids who don't get the opportunity and do get behind the wheel of a car when they're 18 and are able to pass that class, but the fundamentals aren't there. And so I'm excited for both Kendra and Jason to be able to take the class. And I hope that we hear good things back from you, and that I'm sure we'll hear a little bit from Derek about how fun it is to sit in the passenger seat. So thank you all for being here. Appreciate it so much, and have a great day.